Welcome back. I am your host. I am attorney Stephen Leahy, and this is a very special show today. In that not only am I joined by my co-host Jim Leahy,
Aha!
Jim,
and
Yes,
my
you.
son Jake Leahy.
Jake,
Say,
Yeah, Jay.
Clapping for myself.
But we have the Republican nominee. Oh, I didn't forget you either, Debbie.
that's right. Debbie needs a shout out.
Yeah, Debbie,
Debbie.
I was getting ready to clap for Joan. That's why I was.
Well, that's okay. So the Republican nominee for the 9th Congressional District, Joan McCarthy Lasonde.
That's right.
Yes.
So thank you.
There we are.
And this is our
Endorsement special.
Today it's kind of Mrs. Know-It-All, but let's do that.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Know-It-All. But this time, this is Know-It-All with none other than Joan Lasonde.
Okay, so we're gonna ask the question.
All right.
That everybody wants
Ask
to know.
everything.
The 9th Congressional District. What's the biggest issue in your district as you see it?
We have 3 issues. Number 1's the economy, jobs, the economy. As you know, the economy is flat. It's been growing at like less than 1% for the last 8 years. We've got to get people out and working. Second issue that's big in our district is security, especially after the wake of the tragedy in Orlando. There are 2 types of security. There's national security, all the madness that's going on in the Middle East with ISIS. And then we have homeland security, where we have to secure our borders and, make sure we know who's coming in. And then the third issue is education. Both of my parents were Chicago Public School teachers. I'm big on education. I fight for teachers. I fight for children. The way out of poverty is through education.
Awesome. Well, I agree. I mean, take a look at the numbers. Take a look at how. Weren't you saying that the last segment that we're the first generation?
Yes.
His generation is going to be the worst.
I hope
off.
I'm wrong,
And that's through
but that's how it's
education.
trending.
And that's through
Yes.
education.
Yes.
And that comes through
We're getting
education.
a little interference.
You get a little interference. It's like the old cable lines got to hold up the antennas.
But you mentioned Homeland Security, and I think that's such a important part of this. And of course, immigration law has to do with that.
Yes.
And I don't think people put that together.
Right. And we're a country of immigrants. I mean, it's the American way. Obviously, we want to help people, but we have to at least know who we're helping. The man down in Orlando, 49 American citizens are now dead, and their loved ones are, at a loss. Why? Because someone, killed them in the name of ISIS. Mm-hmm. He pledged allegiance to ISIS. You know what? The war used to be in the Middle East. Now it's here.
I agree.
It's in the United States.
This goes into immigration because his father was a refugee from Afghanistan, and again, I don't mind anybody. You can come in refugee, but we shouldn't let people in who are who are going to fight against our way of life.
Right.
And then that passes on to his son, who does these horrible things in the name of ISIS.
Right.
It's just amazing to me.
And we're a country of laws. I mean, we need to follow the law.
Does that seem so odd?
That is
we
so
even have to-
refreshing. So refreshing.
But it's so odd that we have to
Really
even
going
talk
out there.
about that. I know. But,
What a concept that we have to follow the law.
and now I'm gonna mention this because this is part of the law, right? Hillary Clinton and her email thing.
Boo,
Scandal.
hiss, boo.
But again, it seems like there is no law that pertains to her. And if it were me or if it were you, we'd be in deep trouble.
What difference at this point does it make?
That's right. Let's not talk about it.
Forgot. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's the politicians. They think that they are above the law. It's like the law is for you common people. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And we saw it again. We brought it up in the first segment, raising money on the House floor. That's a huge.
I agree with that.
Huge part that we should be actually. That's what we should be talking about.
I agree with that because not only did she break the law, but blatantly put it in everybody's face and said, it's kind of like daring people to do something. Do something about it.
You're above the law, and part of it is these career politicians. It all goes back to these politicians that hold on to their seat for 20, 30, 40 years, which is why we need term limits.
I was just going to mention that
so
too, because
yes.
Wow, it goes right to that, because the longer they're there, the more entitled they are.
Yes.
And it's like Hillary Clinton; she's been at the top for such a long time, right. and she can do almost anything she wants. And I'm going to be the president,
right? And it's all this quid pro quo. You know, Jake knows this. The lobbyists help the politicians, and then what happens? The politicians have to pay back the lobbyists, and then they say, well, we'll get out the vote for you, but then you're going to have to pass this legislation for a certain...
And then they become lobbyists, and it's a never-ending cycle.
Who's a big lobbyist? Is your candidate, your opponent's husband is a huge lobbyist.
Yes, that's true.
He is a felon,
and he even lobbied from jail.
Especially from jail. He wrote a book in jail about unbelievable to me.
Yes,
but anyway,
everybody just turns a blind eye to that.
I
hope that we don't turn a blind eye this election, because, ladies and gentlemen, Joan Lasonde is the kind of change we need.
I agree. But I hope
America.
that answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
That is right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you have any tax problems whatsoever, there's only one man to call.
We all have tax problems.
Local Chicago attorney Stephen Leahy with Open Tax Resolutions at 312-664-6649. Now, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, because after the commercial break, we're going to be talking a little baseball, a little Bulls, and little bit of, let's say, freedom right here on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560.
The Answer.